Us live. Good morning, Larry.
Good morning, my friend. I'm happy to be still surviving behind the Iron Curtain, but I'm still here. I'm surviving. Someone's got to fight this battle, my friend. So it's me.
So, Larry, you're doing the whole run on a ticket with another candidate thing. Anybody who kind of understands the Libertarian Party knows that the candidates are picked separately. So
Yes.
why choose to run with Lars Mapstead? I think you're kind of more high profile. Why not go for the presidential spot?
Well, I wasn't going to run at all. I ran for governor of New York in 2022 and got my butt kicked, and it was hard. You've run more than once. It is painful. It's a struggle both financially, mentally, family, the whole deal. And I wasn't going to run at all. So I was just supporting candidates. But Lars, the same reason why I ran in 2020 only under Jim Gray, it's the same reason why I'm running only under Lars. There's only one way for the Libertarian Party to make any impact whatsoever. It's not a 50-state run. A 50-state run is going to do the same thing we've been doing for the past 50 years, 1%, maybe 2 or 3 if we get a Gary Johnson type, but we don't have that type this year. So we're going to get 1% again. And now we got RFK Jr. running. We got Cornel West running. We got Jill Stein running. It's going to be a bad year for us unless we do a different thing, which is focus on electoral votes early on. Try to get Maine, try to get Nebraska. Then from that, once we get a little bit of a press from that, then make it a 50-state run. On top of that, money. Money matters. You and I have had to raise money more than once. I raise good money. It's one thing I can do very, very well. I'm a good fundraiser. I've raised $500,000 more than once in a campaign. I've raised money for other people. I raised $200,000 for Gary Johnson. I mean, I raise a lot of money. It's what I do. So he already has money. He is a self-made man. He's already put about $700,000 into his campaign already. We haven't seen that kind of money since Gary Johnson. He has already decided he is going to spend another $1 million already when he starts. Plus, he has some friends who like him and don't like libertarians, but like him. So we'll support him also when he wins. So we're going to have money and a plan. That's why I'm running with him. If it's somebody else, I don't want to run. I'm not trying to win something. I'm trying to make impact. I have a job. It's not a vanity project for me,
Are you still going to run? If Lars doesn't win the nomination, are you still going to run for the VP spot?
No. That's why I dropped out last time when I wanted to. Judge Jim Gray also agreed with that plan last time. And when he didn't make the nomination, I dropped out. If the Libertarian Party doesn't want this plan, I understand. I respect that. I'll drop. I'm not going to run just to run. There are a lot of people who just run just to run.
But they would probably pick you this time, Larry. I mean, you're very well liked.
They would have picked me last time.
Well, but you're sound, you're reasonable, you're friendly, you're a good public face for the party. I mean, the guys who are running for the VP at this point, it's not so good, Larry. I mean, if I were you, I'd stick around, for at least for the VP nominated convention. I'd go for it. Why not? Because I'm tired of being embarrassed. And listen, I may not be a member. So then
why don't you run for governor of Missouri like I told you to?
Well, first of all, because we actually have good candidates who have a credible chance to win here in Missouri that are closer to our ideals than you'd find in other states, places like New York, for example. But Larry,
my point is, you don't want to run just to run. You want to run for a reason. That is my point.
I get it.
So do I.
Now, here's the thing. So you're running, on a ticket, as a ticket.
Yeah.
The Libertarians don't choose tickets. They choose their candidates separately. I don't know a whole lot about this Lars Mapstead guy, but what I've heard about him or what I've read about him, I mean, he's a rich guy, but he made his money in scandalous ways. I know that libertarians don't care about this kind of stuff.
Stop that scandalous ways.
Well, listen, I know libertarians don't care about this stuff, but the general public might. Am I wrong? It wasn't scandalous? Did he not make his money in pornography?
You are incorrect. Let me explain why.
All right, help me.
But again, and I don't care. I don't care if he was a sex worker himself. I don't care. I don't care. I'm a hardcore libertarian in that regard. So I have no reason to lie about this. What actually happened is he had one of his sites. He had many businesses. One of them was Friend Finder. And in Friend Finder, this was back in the day in the 90s and such, right? When people were just going online and finding people. Right. Well, the problem was there was scandalous stuff on the Friend Finder. Yeah. And people started getting upset. I don't want this on my Friend Finder. I don't want this. So he said, why don't I make a separate thing for the adult people to go? We'll go to Adult Friend Finder. So he made a separate thing called Adult Friend Finder, which was much more people getting together, hooking up and things of that sort. that did exist.
That's scandalous.
That's not scandalous at all. That's not at all.
Not to the people who think that you should be able to sell heroin to 5-year-olds, maybe, Larry, but for the average American public, you know,
for the average American,
Joe Q public is going to be like, ugh.
Joe Q public can be or you want, because Joe Q public is actually on that site. So it's all fine. It doesn't matter. They're all on that site. So it doesn't matter.
All right, Larry. Well, yes. That's you're going to have a better answer than that one, I think. It flies with me, but it's not going to fly with other people. So if you do get the nomination with Lars, then I would have a better answer for something like that. Just my opinion.
I like my answer. I'm not going to back off of that answer.
I'm not saying back off of the answer. Just if
answer.
It'll work with libertarians, but like with other people, I would say probably need a better answer for the Adult Friend Finder website. But that's how he got his money, right? It was through the Friend Finder network that he created.
Through several businesses. That was one of them. Yes.
Okay. So
yes,
again,
that was one.
We're all adults, we're libertarians. Yeah, okay, we're all libertarians and we're adults. That's fine. Let's talk about the other dynamics that are at play in the race, because obviously you guys are going to have your presidential fight.
By the way, hold on. Let me do it right.
Yeah, go
Lars24.com. Please check out his website.
Okay, yes, and I will. I always give you a chance to plug things too at the end of the interviews. You know this. So. Everybody's fighting for the presidential spot, right? You've got a bunch of people that we've never heard of, Larry, and then Donald Trump's going to be there at the convention.
Yes,
and it's like
RFK Jr. too.
What do you think about? What do you think
Vivek is going to be there?
What do you think about all these Republicans taking over your convention, Larry?
They're not taking over our convention. Look at you being a hyperbolic stuff.
Yes,
they are not.
Yes,
I am happy they're coming because they're giving us press.
I'm happy they're coming because that's my political party, and I want you guys to just be absorbed like the blob, like the anglerfish at the bottom of the ocean when the female mates.
Not going to work.
You guys, you're the male anglerfish, and like we're gonna mate, and the Republican Party is the one, the anglerfish with like the bulb on its head, and then once we mate, your body's gonna be absorbed into ours.
You don't like, but you Republicans don't like how we taste. I just said Adult Friend Finder, and you just about threw up on me. So there's no way that's going to work.
It's you know how like guys have booty calls and men have or women have foodie calls. It's good enough for a foodie call. So we'll take a bite for a night. Donald Trump.
I don't mind that as long as it's a nice place. It's fine. It's fine. It's got to be a nice place. That's all I'm saying.
Okay, so Vivek Ramaswamy, Donald Trump, Robert F. Kennedy Jr. They're running for president. They're going to get a lot more attention than your candidate.
Well, that's possible, but the most important piece is we now have the opportunity to be in front of the cameras that I want us to be in front of. If we can't if we can't show up, if we can't do the right thing, that's on us. But we got to get in front of cameras. We have to be able to be good enough. We got to be able to be savvy enough to say cool things, to get in front of that camera. If we don't, that's on us. But I want cameras in front of us.
So are you going to campaign for the Libertarian presidential candidate this year?
Yeah, of course.
Okay.
Of course.
Okay. Is the Libertarian Party candidates these days, they really seem to have a thing with Jews. Have you noticed that there's a lot of disdain for God's chosen people from the candidates who are running this year? Or is it just me?
I don't know what circles you're looking at. Is that true?
Yeah, well,
I haven't seen that.
Oh, Larry, you got to start paying attention to the conversations that are going on in your own party,
I don't want to. That's why I have a team who watches my social media. I do not want to know what's happening. Do you know the shade I get? Do you know how they attack me online? I'll let other people do that. It's
Larry,
fine.
You're losing face here today, man. You can't do this. You got to give it to us straight, brother. You're going to campaign for the Libertarian presidential candidate, but you don't know what their political positions are. I mean, are you saying that you're going to go out there proudly and campaign for somebody who thinks that the Jewish banking conspiracies are controlling the world, and that, the world would be better if Israel was dissolved and if Palestinians were running and playing in the streets like little happy puppies and kitties and things like that?
God, I hope that guy doesn't win. Is that guy going to win? I hope not. Larry,
listen, I love you, man, but the party is a fucking embarrassment, and we would all be better off if all of you with the same brains would join us in the Republican Party and help us to fight the left, because this is about a civilizational struggle between ourselves and the woke left who want to destroy you, We're going to be the first ones
I have watched your party sell out so fast. I have watched your party sell out so fast, specifically in my state. And I don't know Republicans in every state. I know them in mine. I have watched them sell out so fast. I have watched them collapse like there's no tomorrow. I've watched them grift like there's no doubt. I have expressed how they would grift, told them, have receipts on them grifting, and people still support them. No, your party is a corporate party. I love you, brother, and I wish you wouldn't have left us.
My party is the only party with elected libertarians in office, holding people accountable. People like Rand Paul, people like Thomas Massey. There are dozens of us, dozens, Larry. Hold on, let me reset. If you're just tuning into the Wake Up America show, good morning. I'm Austin Peterson. I'm speaking to my good friend Larry Sharpe, and despite the combativeness, we are good buds, and we're talking about the Libertarian 100%. Party's nominating convention for president of the United States. Donald Trump will be speaking there. You say you think he could overshadow the presidential candidate, but Larry, he will. He always sucks the energy out of the room. Don't you think a lot of libertarians big L libertarians are going to be swayed by Donald Trump? They're going to look at the weakness of the LP candidate, and they are going to vote for Donald Trump this year?
Yeah, this is a very valid point. Agreed, right? The issue is when you are losing, and the Libertarian Party is losing, we're getting less than 1% or 1% constantly. Losing, you know this as a military historian, when you're losing is when you gamble. And this is the right time to gamble. There's no doubt. Everything you're saying is true. I mean, it could happen. But without it, we're in trouble. So we roll the dice. We hope that our people are going to do the right thing. We hope that we get some great press, and we hope that we take some from them. There are people in the Republican Party who are unhappy with Republicans, of course. Now, there's, 80 million voters who vote Republican, maybe 3 million, maybe who vote Libertarian, probably more like 2 or 3 in that area who vote Libertarian. If we lose 10% of ours to Trump, but gain 1% of his, we still win. So my hope is that we'll gain more from him than he will gain from us. But you're right. He will take some of our people. So will RFK Jr. So will whomever, right? When we have a candidate who is not going to be as well-funded, who's not going to have the same background, who's not going to have the same infrastructure, we're going to lose some people. There's no doubt. And look, I'm not going to vote for Donald Trump. He's a Republican. I'm not a Republican. However, guy's got charisma. There's no doubt. I can't fight that. I got eyes. The guy has charisma. The guy is going to take some of our people. As long as we take more and in the long run we gain more, I'm good.
But they're not going to take more. They're not going to gain in the long term. This is going to result in the first time since 1992 that the Libertarian Party will take 4th place in the general election behind Robert F. Kennedy Jr., who is also speaking at the convention.
Yep.
And he will also be vying for the votes of the Libertarian Party members.
Yes. 100%. Yes. So we basically have 2 options. Option number 1, sit back and let everyone overshadow us, period. Or option number 2, put them all in the same place that we are, under our name, getting our candidates in front of them, and us being able to get people to go, wait a minute, these guys are real too. As you know, as a third-party candidate, the number one thing you're searching for is being valid. Being on a stage and with them makes you valid. Once you're valid, people will pay attention to you. If you're not valid, you're just completely ignored. Right? When I was on the ballot in 2018, I was everybody's best friend. Everybody loved me, everybody show. When I got sued off the ballot, by the way, by your party, Republican Party, they sued me off the ballot in 2022. Because they were afraid of me because they wanted to grift.
My party knows
they didn't win the election. They still lost the election and grifted, but they did sue me off the ballot. They did win that one. So when they sued me off the ballot, all of a sudden people didn't want to talk to me anymore. I wasn't valid anymore. My 2022 election compared to 2018 was nothing. And it was because I wasn't valid.
Let me tell you something, Larry. I'm going to make a prediction. Lars Mapstead is not going to get the nomination of the Libertarian Party at the convention. Okay. Knowing what I know about the makeup of the party as it is, and seeing, even like in the polling that the party is doing here and there, that's not going to happen, which means you're not going to be the VP pick, which I think sucks because you'd be a good one. I think you represent us well. You'd probably do better and maybe even win if you actually ran for the presidential nomination. Right. But once this is all over, the dust is cleared and the Libertarian Party has embarrassed people like yourself to the absolute extreme, then you will join me in the Republican Party. And here's the prediction. You are going to have a fantastic career. the Republican Party is going to welcome you with open arms, because as much as you and I may not like identity politics or tokenism, you will be the token black man who will be able to get up on stage and we'll talk about how awful the Democrats are, and you will be rich, you'll be wealthy. They might even run you for an office that you might actually win. You'll be happy. Your children will be like Genghis Khan, and you and I will actually work together to fight for liberty once again, instead of being in opposite camps.
Sounds
to a
amazing.
certain degree. I think that you, Larry, the best is yet to come, but you're going to have to take another L this year, and I hate to see it, man. I hate to see it.
I've taken a bunch, so it's not like I haven't taken L's before. It does make me stronger, my friend. It does make me stronger as I keep going on. Look, maybe you're right. I'm not going to say that you're 100% wrong. Who the hell knows, right? Who the hell knows? But the point is, right now, this is the right method. This is the right way of going. Third parties are the right way right now. They're growing. And you can see it with RFK Jr., you see it with Cornel West. You see it with the idea, not actively yet, but the idea of Forward Party, the idea of no labels. These ideas are because people are open to the ideas now. Third parties are the way right now. And I hope we can jump on this wave. I think it's a better route than going this left-right paradigm.
No. The laws are written such as to prevent third parties from getting on the ballot.
I know.
And it may be for the best, because the Libertarian Party went from the limp-wristed years of Gary Johnson, the weak, effete left libertarianism of the Gary Johnson years, to now some anti-Semitic, anti-America, basically adopting the foreign policy of Noam Chomsky and Howard Zinn. And I think you know exactly what I'm talking about. It has morphed into a party that's like the polar opposite of the limp-wristed years, which is like essentially it's nothing that I recognize of what the LP was for a brief period as the Tea Party began its rise. And now we see these institutions, these libertarian institutions like FreedomWorks and others, they're collapsing, and I blame you, Larry, because people like yourself are on the wrong side of the line. Yes, it's your fault, because you keep fighting losing battles. You've got to come over to our side, Larry. You've got to join the Republican Party, because you will actually they're going to make you a lieutenant. They're going to put you on the front lines. You're a U.S. Marine. As the Libertarian Party that I'm describing here, does that sound alien to you? I know you're saying you're not checking your social media and stuff like that. You're a patriotic American.
No.
You love our country, right?
Of course, that's true.
Of course. You served our country.
That's true. Yes, that's true. That's how I feel.
Right.
I literally have 2 American flags in my background. So yes, that I feel that. Of course I do. But no, the issue still is right now the system is not working. The Republican Party that I don't know. I don't see that party. I see a party that recruits me constantly. Every month they're trying to get me in. You're correct. They want me in all the time in New York State. But I see a party that loses, doesn't care, that grifts. That's what I see. And the Democratic Party in my state that just dominates.
You telling me that Libertarian Party members don't grift?
Of course they do.
You've got all the same problems. Here's the thing. You've got all the same problems that the major parties do with none of the benefits, Larry. None. You've got all the same
valid
problems,
point, but
and worse.
There's one important point that I do have.
Okay.
One, and that is I'm a libertarian. And with that in mind, when I run with my party, with my people, I do believe that we're trying to fight the right fight. The Republicans that I see, again, I'm going to talk from my state. The Republicans in my state are not fighting for the right fight. They're fighting for their own fiefdoms, and they've accepted defeat. I don't accept defeat. I keep fighting. I'll give you an example. In my specific area in New York City where I live, the Republicans haven't even run a candidate in 10 years. They haven't run a candidate in 10 years. That's how bad it is, right? They don't fight in my state at all. Why would I want to join that party? At least my party's fighting. I'll give them that.
Okay. Well, we all enjoyed the movie 300, and everybody thinks that the Spartans were cool. But the 300,
I got to get more cut though.
Yeah, you got to get a little more cut, but they were slaughtered, and the Spartans no longer exist. I would love to see you win a victory, Larry, but I think at this point in time, you are having your good name besmirched by people who are not fit to carry water for you, Larry. You're one of the few people in that dying vessel that is actually worth something, that served our country as a U.S. Marine. You have a good name, and I hate to see it getting tarred with people who want to sell heroin to 5-year-olds. And I'll leave it at that and let you plug your campaign before we let you go, Larry. And thanks for letting me beat you up a little bit this morning.
Oh, no worries, my friend. You know I adore you. Lars24.com is the place to go to see we're talking about the voter Bill of Rights, which Republicans don't have. We're talking about ways of fixing the border. We're talking about ways of fixing our economy. We're talking about ways of editing the Fed. We're talking about important ways and things that matter. If we're able to make this campaign work, we will actually be able to win at least 1 or 2 electoral votes. We get gold on the map, and that's the goal. Gold on the map means that people will see the Libertarian Party as real. If they see us as real, they will have to react. I want them to actually react. Right now, what I get is other guy bad. That's all I get. I don't want other guy bad. I want actual plans. Things haven't been fixed in this country in 20 years or more. I can't remember when things are being fixed. They're not, because I don't have to fix anything. I protect you from the evil left, or I protect you from the evil right, and that's all I do. I actually achieve nothing. One of the reasons why Justin Amash left the Libertarian Party and why he decided to step down was because he believed that he wasn't making any impact. And now he's struggling as a Republican in Michigan right now. He may or may not win his primary. He's struggling now.
That's because he voted to impeach Donald Trump, and because he took he took
what he thought was a principled stance, and he got punished.
Well, yeah, you know what? I'm tired of these principled stands seeing good people go down.
I know,
right? I'm sick of it. I'm sick of watching, good men and good women take a sword, fall on their swords that they don't have to. People like you, people like Justin Amash have got to stop going out there, putting yourself out as cannon fodder for people who don't care about you, who are use you up. Larry, these people that in the Libertarian Party, they don't care about you, man. They chew you up, they spit you out. You saw
all the time.
You saw how they treated me, and I was an activist with them for 10 years, longer than you were there.
I remember.
Far longer, for years. And they eat their young. You still have a career ahead of you, Larry. You still have a good name. Get out while the getting is good. Vote for Donald Trump, Larry. After you lose the Libertarian nomination, join us, and together we shall rule the galaxy as father and son. Larry, give us that website one more time, brother.
Lars24.com, guys. Lars24.com. Check out what's going on. I think that we have a good shot at making an impact this year. If you are not a third-party person, I get it. If you are a third-party person, vote third party. Let's get these third parties moving, rocking and rolling. The two-party system's not working. And look, if we get to work together one day, Austin, it's awesome. I've been trying to pull you back to libertarians for years, and you keep trying to pull me in the Republican Party. I guess one day one of us will win eventually.
Larry, I know I'm going to win this fight because Republicans actually win fights. Larry, appreciate your time today. Have a wonderful day. Good luck out there, and we'll probably have you back after the convention to hear your thoughts on what went down. Okay? Have a good one, and good luck.
Have a good one, brother.
Yep. Thank you very much.